LeBron James's career in the NBA is finished, and his choice to stay is pulling the Lakers into a hole, and the world sees it. The public has shared this view for years, but now the legendary icons are speaking up too. LeBron's era is done, and it's officially time for Luka Dončić to lead. This is more than just social media talk. Michael Jordan himself made this clear.
Retirement's been calling. He just won't answer.
And that's just Michael Jordan. Wait until you see how far Magic Johnson and Shaq took this. Trust me, you haven't heard them speak this way before. Do you know what people keep missing? This didn't just start this season. This whole Luka takeover has been building for years, because it's simply the most logical next step, and the only person acting shocked by it is obviously LeBron himself. Honestly, if you've been paying attention, the signs are impossible to overlook. By the beginning of 2026, Luka Dončić wasn't just a contender anymore. He was the center of the Lakers universe. Just look at the All-Star voting at the start of the year. Over 5.2 million fan votes flooded in for Luka, while LeBron barely cracked 3.1 million. And the weirdest part is how no one was surprised by this. So if everyone, the fans, the press, the players, and even the legends of the game collectively agree it's time for Luka, why the heck is Uncle LeBron still on the court? Why are you 41 years old and still trying to compete with 20-year-olds? It wasn't just the voting either. It was obvious in the games the Lakers played early in the year. Early 2026 was like Luka's personal coming out party against the Pelicans. He dropped 32 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds, walking off like it was just another day of practice. Then 2 nights later, the Lakers beat the Grizzlies. Luka recorded 28 points, 10 assists, and 12 rebounds. Even the players around him are getting better because of his presence. We see Austin Reeves hitting shots he wouldn't normally take, and Rui Hachimura suddenly cutting harder and finishing cleaner. And here's the not-so-crazy part. None of this required LeBron. It's been clear to anyone watching, and even the legends have been signaling to LeBron for years, that his time with the Lakers and the NBA in general is over. We get that he's still trying to prove he's one of the greats, but nothing he does now will make fans put him on the same level as Kobe or Jordan. In fact, Magic Johnson said it himself in a press conference in 2025.
LeBron is a bad boy too. He's a bad boy, but he's not Michael. Don't get it twisted. I love LeBron, but no.
It isn't a lack of respect, it's just the truth. And it's not only Magic, but Shaq has also been very direct with his views. He says the Lakers must begin planning the next decade around Luka, rather than another retirement tour for a 41-year-old.
At some point, we will see LeBron retire, but you got a 25-year-old Luka Dončić, so that means we got another good 10 years looking at the Lakers.
On the flip side, Cedric Maxwell, a Finals MVP and 2-time Celtics winner who played alongside Larry Bird, compared Luka to the legend. He mentioned Luka's vision on the floor and how he tricks defenders without needing crazy athleticism, all while controlling the game's tempo.
When someone like you says that Luka is a carbon copy of Larry Bird, that's obviously a more powerful statement.
I said right now, I think that you asked me, so who would Larry Bird what would he be like in the NBA? And Luka would be him or he'd be Luka.
These aren't just hot takes, they're expert-level first-hand comparisons. Even analysts like Jovan Buha have discussed how the Lakers' offensive flow improves significantly with Luka at the helm. Possessions are cleaner, the ball moves quicker, and spacing is more intelligent. It's the kind of progress you can quantify. In January 2026 alone, the Lakers' net rating when Luka played without LeBron climbed to plus 5.2 in the first quarter, proving how his presence elevates the team's output. Even the clutch game data confirms it. During that back-to-back Memphis series, Luka had a usage rate above 34% and an efficiency rating near 28%. His box plus-minus was plus 10.8. These aren't just empty stats, they prove he's running the show, creating chances, and staying efficient while leading the team through high-pressure spots. Meanwhile, LeBron has been playing less, battling back pain and various injuries. The message is crystal clear. It's time to hang it up, old man, and LeBron is aware of it. That's why things are so tense. He stayed because he wanted one final run to cement his legacy. But Luka shouldn't have to wait for anyone's green light. As Shaq noted, LeBron isn't providing much for the Lakers anymore. The numbers prove they truly don't need him. To see the truth, just watch a Lakers game when LeBron was sidelined. Early in the 2025-2026 season, LeBron missed the first 14 games because of his back. It was the perfect proof that the unstoppable athlete narrative is dead. The team didn't just survive, they flourished. The Lakers went 10-4 during that time. Luka wasn't just piling up stats, he was leading the offense, controlling the tempo, and putting teammates in spots to win. In those games, he averaged 28 points, 9 boards, and 11 assists, with an efficiency rating of 27.5% and a plus 9.3 box plus minus. The team statistics make it even more obvious. While he was out, the Lakers' net rating without LeBron was plus 1.1, meaning they were a positive force on both ends. But when he returned, that rating fell to minus 2.5. Real leadership can't be faked. While LeBron was out with injuries, Luka was ready for the team to move forward. He said, "Hopefully LeBron returns soon, but the mindset must be next man up. I just want to play, whatever it takes to win." He wasn't asking for permission, he was in charge. That mix of stats and character in today's league is rare, especially at 26. It feels like watching MJ or Kobe. The Lakers' early success without LeBron made it impossible to ignore that Luka wasn't just keeping them afloat, he was showing they could actually be better without LeBron holding them back. Everyone, LeBron included, knows he isn't the force he once was. By the time he came back, the Lakers had a rhythm that was hard to fix with the old guard. If you think it's just chemistry, look at how LeBron's numbers have tanked this year. Through January, he's averaging 22 to 24 points, a major drop from his usual 25 to 30 range. His shooting has dipped to 48%, down from his 50% career mark. It seems small, but since he's taking more threes to keep up with the pace, it's a big loss in efficiency. His assists have dropped to 6.8 and rebounds to 5.4. That's fine for a 41-year-old, but not for a supposed leader. And get this, LeBron's 1,297-game streak of scoring at least 10 points finally ended in December against the Raptors. The Lakers actually won that game, 123-120, but the guy who won't retire scored only 8 points. Just 8. There is no bigger proof of his decline. He's also dealing with chronic back issues, sciatica, and joint pain, forcing him to miss 12 of the first 30 games. You can see it in his play too. His first step isn't explosive, his lateral movement is slow, and he can't handle 36 to 40 minutes at a high pace anymore. Even coach JJ Redick has admitted the team has been less organized since LeBron returned.
I think since we've gotten Bron back, we haven't been as organized offensively, too many random possessions.
When even your own head coach admits that about you, you know the situation is serious. Then you have all the drama away from the court. There are rumors about his links to Diddy, his influence over his son, the way Bronny was drafted by the Lakers, and plenty of other strange stories following him. Let's be real. LeBron staying with the Lakers now isn't about the roster. It's about hunting one last ring so he can claim he's tied with Kobe. But even then, he will never catch MJ's stats. Jordan has 6 rings, and we all realize LeBron will never reach that. Meanwhile, there's a ready 26-year-old waiting to take command the moment LeBron steps aside. Sure, LeBron is still a massive name with a huge legacy. However, the reality on the hardwood is a different story. All the legends who were dropping hints about this were right. Now, if you've been following along, you might have noticed I've been a bit careful with my comparisons. But let's stop playing around and get to the honest truth. Luka is a superior player to LeBron James. There, I said it. Because if you look at them side by side, the distance is obvious. We already mentioned that in early 2026, Luka put up 33.5 points, 8.7 assists, 7.9 boards, and 1.52 steals. LeBron, however, averaged 21.7 points, 6.8 assists, 5.4 boards, and 1 steal. That isn't a small gap. Luka is playing 50% more minutes at a peak level, running the offense and finishing games strong. Meanwhile, LeBron is on a strict time limit because of his health. Even in those short bursts, he isn't moving the needle for the team. Here's another interesting fact. Did you know that in his first 6 years, Luka already has 5 All-NBA first-team nods, a playoff average of 31.0 points, and a 73-point career high? In LeBron's first 6 years, he had 3 first-team nods, a 29-point playoff average, and a high of 61. Basically, Luka is doing what prime LeBron did, but faster and more efficiently while lifting his team up. Also, only one of these two ever abandoned his team to chase rings. Luka stayed with his franchise until the front office decided to move him. That alone should show the Lakers who they need to get behind. And when the game is on the line, Luka is on a totally different level than LeBron right now. Look at that January 10th, 2026 game against Memphis. The fourth quarter was tight, and the Lakers trailed by 2 with 4:30 remaining. It was like he found the gear he had been saving. In those final 5 minutes, Luka made 7 of 9 shots, including a massive step-back 3 that iced the game. Contrast that with a similar moment against Phoenix where LeBron hit a late shot, but the team actually played worse with him out there and finished -3. Or look at the January 12th Memphis rematch that came down to the final 2 minutes. In that window, Luka produced 8 points, 4 assists, and 2 boards while creating open looks for everyone else just by drawing the defense. LeBron's true shooting in the clutch is around 52%, while Luka is at 61%. In the NBA, that is a massive gap. The impact goes way beyond the box score. Remember what I said about Luka elevating his teammates? In that Memphis series, Rui Hachimura scored 22 points on 70% shooting. Austin Reeves hit 5 huge threes, all because of Luka's vision. Compare that to the Toronto game where LeBron only had 8 points. That was the same game where the Lakers lost their flow and had to depend on a role player's contested shot just to get to overtime. That brings me back to my earlier point. Luka is currently beating LeBron in every important category: scoring, passing, efficiency, control, leadership, and health. That is why when MJ said retirement was calling LeBron, it wasn't an insult, it was the truth. But here's the interesting part. MJ has been backing Luka long before this got messy. In 2022, a video went viral of MJ hugging Luka. This wasn't a quick pat or a handshake. This was a full-on, proud big brother hug.
What up, dude? Hanging there. Stay healthy, man. Off the floor.
And it is crucial for you to realize that the previous time we witnessed MJ behave that way with a different athlete was with Kobe Bryant. That was essentially a mark of validation from the finest player the sport has ever seen. Now look at MJ with LeBron on that very same evening. Yikes. Jordan wasn't even attempting to disguise his true feelings.
I know you. You're going to do it. You're going to do it, man. Good luck.
Then look at Allen Iverson. Iverson has never been a guy to hold back his true thoughts. When he was questioned about the way Luka plays the game, he had this to say.
Because they probably killed me for it.
No, you should say it. We can edit it out. We won't.
Yeah, he played the way he played.
He plays like a white guy?
No, he plays like a black guy.
And before people start overreacting, this was just Iverson's method of delivering the ultimate praise. But here's the real curveball in the situation. Iverson was a guest on an ESPN segment where they questioned him about the LeBron drama, and I have never seen anyone be so blunt. His specific quote was, "It's time for him to go. It is Luka's era now." Even beyond the clips going viral, the simple fact that these icons aren't being polite about the matter is what worries me most. Do you realize how serious it must be for legends to step out and openly choose a side between LeBron James and Luka Dončić? It is a total consensus, and LeBron is aware of it as well. Somewhere inside, even he can sense a change occurring in the locker room, on the hardwood, and in the crowd. There have also been whispers that this change has triggered a lot of friction behind the curtain, and that friction has actually resulted in real-life arguments. Look, Luka isn't just a future star anymore, because his growth in the league has forced a change in the Lakers' environment and made them rethink who is actually the boss. That is a hard pill to swallow when you have spent 20 years being the leader. One of the first signs of this change happened when Luka publicly talked about a private strategy meeting with coach JJ Redick that LeBron wasn't even invited to. Following a massive victory over Sacramento, Luka mentioned that he and Redick had pre-game discussions about playing time and roles for that evening, and LeBron was completely left out of that talk. That seems small, but it's massive. A coach doesn't just discuss lineup changes with a younger star unless there's genuine faith in his ability to lead. Then there are those instances that fans caught on film and shared everywhere. Even though there hasn't been a public brawl, which would never leak out of the locker room regardless, we have seen small body language cues that reveal a great deal. Several times the way LeBron and Luka interact after games has looked tense, like two alpha leaders trying to decide who is in charge. There was even a famous video where LeBron appeared to snub Luka and ignored his handshake entirely. Insiders close to the organization have also pointed toward the friction. One anonymous reporter noted, LeBron isn't accustomed to splitting the court with someone else who is leading the group. There is a clear vibe where Luka's self-assurance and leadership feel completely effortless. Meanwhile, LeBron is still fighting to keep his grip on power using his traditional methods. To be fair, you really cannot blame the legends for siding with Luka. When you watch Luka Dončić in action, it is impossible to miss that rare quality. He holds the true essence of the game. He isn't just a flashy player hunting for highlights, but the type of athlete who reminds you why we originally loved this sport. When you think of MJ's deadly mid-range game, Bird's elite vision, Magic controlling the fast break, or Shaq's power in the paint, you see that Luka embodies all of it. The wildest part is that at 26, he is the first star since Kobe to bring that old school grit while still dominating in today's fast-paced, high-spacing NBA. Let's look at his courage. Luka never avoids physical play, big moments, or taking charge when the pressure is at its peak. Just see his performance in that Grizzlies rematch earlier this season. That is classic dominance. It's the kind of command that brings MJ or Kobe to mind. Even his step-back jumpers, though modern and trendy, carry the same weight as a classic Jordan fadeaway. And don't get me started on his versatility. He is a guard who boards like a big man, passes like a genius, and scores from every spot on the floor. What about his mental game? Luka deconstructs defenses instantly, predicts every rotation, and controls the flow of the game. Even Gilbert Arenas, who rarely gives out praise, has mentioned that Luka reminds him of those veteran NBA stars who possessed a level of IQ that simply cannot be coached.
You know, he has that old, and I hate to say it, that old Duke fundamentally sound, footwork, reaction, ability to create shots.
So while Luka is bringing back everything we love about traditional NBA greatness, LeBron, despite his legendary status, is beginning to look like a disappearing artifact. If you have been keeping up with the news and talk around the league, it is clear the Lakers management isn't even trying to mask it. Luka Dončić is the priority, and LeBron, honestly, is becoming less essential. This isn't just about gossip or being rude, it is a solid plan. The Lakers GM, Rob Pelinka, has mentioned multiple times that the organization is focusing on the next decade, with Luka as the foundation.
It's a gift. We're talking about a 25-year-old that is top 3 player of the universe. I can't think of a more amazing starting point to build a roster for the next decade.
And it is not just their public statements. Based on what sources are sharing, every change to the lineup, trade talk, and rookie selection is being decided with Luka as a priority. They are attempting to build a roster that flourishes around him, instead of catering to a 41-year-old hunting for one final title. Even the advertisements make it obvious. Luka is on the signs. Luka is the main attraction at the stadium. He is the face of season ticket ads, and he leads the social media posts. It is all about Luka. This is not a new trend for the Lakers either. Just review their history. Magic was paired with Worthy and Scott. Shaq worked with Penny and Kobe. Eventually, Kobe turned into the undisputed focal point. This team has always executed these transitions silently before the rest of the NBA notices. That is precisely what is occurring with Luka. Even the game strategy now proves it. LeBron's time on court is limited. Often, he watches from the bench while Luka dictates the play. So yes, when discussing who leads this franchise, it is about more than just numbers. The management is fully aware of what Luka brings to the table. At this stage, the conclusion has already been decided. LeBron only gets to pick how it looks. He can take the respectful path, retire, hand over the franchise to Luka, and let the fans remember him as the star who knew his limit. That choice wouldn't take away from his achievements. In fact, it would improve his reputation. Alternatively, he can stay in the way until the team, the bosses, and the truth force him out. And that path is messy. Luka is already established. The roster is his. The years ahead are his. The final mystery is whether LeBron leaves as a hero or is discarded like an old artifact.